Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and this is the Business Talk Show. Today, we have a fabulous guest joining us from Dubai, and we're going to be talking all about sports business marketing in the Middle East. Before we bring out our guests, let's bring out the star of our show. It's Mr. CINI. Hello, Al. How are you?
Dr. Jacalyn, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you. And for people who don't know, I say this all the time, but it's true. You've been with me since the very beginning. And I don't even know what episode we're on now, but it has been quite a journey. And in addition to you being an expert talking head, a co-host, a show host, you have your own businesses. You are also on RVN television, and you have been an incredible mentor to me. So if you would share a little bit about the work that you're doing, Al, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. As always, I appreciate that opportunity. I have a good friend and partner that I work with in ProFit for Teams, which is a team building exercise. And he likes to start conversations with prospective clients by asking, do you really believe your people are all rowing in the same direction? And it's not an official poll, but we've counted the answers we've gotten. And the answers generally range from hell no to a great deal more profanity, no. And our job with ProFit for Teams is to create an experience that in a half a day takes a group of people that share a common mission and puts them on the same page with each other. A page that they write, by the way, not a page that we write. So what we do is arrange a client's culture around the mission they serve. We do that by tapping into the power of the hearts and the minds of the people we work with in this team building experience. That's ProFit for Teams.
Thanks, Al. Thanks for sharing that. And we have your contact information up for people who want to go ahead and reach out. So we have someone who was referred to us by one of our own here, one of our community members, our dear friend, Diane Floyd-Bame. Our guest today is Roger Duthie, the president and founder of BearFish Sports Marketing and BearFish Sports Apparel. Let's bring him out and find out what's going on with Roger. Hello, welcome.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good.
Thanks so much for being here. You know, you are obviously an entrepreneur and you have extensive business expertise and knowledge. I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background with our audience.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Well, for about 19 years, I ran the Emirates Airline global sports marketing business. And that really, Emirates was a brand that was really proactive, trying to create the brand from a holistic communications platform, and we use sports to really do that. And part of my role was to procure some of the largest sponsorships that we had, including Arsenal, Real Madrid, Benfica, PSG. These are all football teams. Plus, we did things in America like the LA Dodgers. We were involved in the Rugby World Cup, Cricket World Cups, tennis, US Open, Australian Open, French Open, you name it. Emirates was involved in it. It was a really wonderful airline to work with because the senior management recognized that we could use sports sponsorship as a way to really build our platform globally. And maybe 15 years ago, when I first joined Emirates, people in America, North America, didn't really know what Emirates was or Dubai. But over the years, they kept growing. We kept developing our brand, not just through sponsorship, but sponsorship was about 40-50% of our marketing budget, which is very significant, very high in the business world. And we use sponsorships really as a communications platform to engage with our customers and really turn them into become fans of the brand. And we did this through our sports marketing and all of our sponsorship platforms. So I was very fortunate to work for the company, and I helped build that brand with many other people. And it just came to a time in my career when I realized I think I can do this on my own. And I chose 2019 to exit, which if we all know what happened towards the end of 2019, probably wasn't the greatest thing in the world, because as soon as I left, 2020 hit and COVID hit. So I thought, what the heck was I doing? Because I had the greatest job in the world, working for the greatest brand in the world. And then I went out on my own to start this company. And then COVID hit. But what I found out during COVID, I was very fortunate, because a lot of teams, brands, leagues were culling their staff. And when they found out someone like me and other consultants out there were free agents, we were getting hired, because we were a lot cheaper to hire one individual such as myself than when they got rid of 15 staff, they would hire someone like me and other colleagues in the business that I know. So I got really fortunate during COVID, and I started to build my business at that time. And I can talk a little bit about the sports apparel business now or later on if you want, and how that morphed into my secondary business during COVID.
Roger, the first thing I have to say is I was smiling because I had the same thing happen to me. I left my corporate career in 2020. I'm like, what am I doing? So, but we learn a lot, and we take what we learned. I also had a smile on my face when you were talking about Emirates, because the brand itself to me is at the top. So congratulations to you for your work in that area.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for you.
That I had a boss very, very proactive with our sports marketing. We had senior management. His Highness was very supportive of what our division wanted to do, and it was a really holistic approach. It wasn't just sports sponsorship. It was obviously above the line, through the line, below the line advertising. It was everything, but it was a really holistic viewpoint, 360 holistic sports marketing communications strategy.
That's great. For the people watching and listening, Roger, who needs to call you? Or is it owners of sports franchises or manufacturers of sporting goods? Who do you want to hear from?
Well, so again, I have two businesses. One is my sports marketing business, and the sports marketing is really rights holders. Let's say in America, I have some clients in Europe who are looking for brands and sponsorships. So I have a pretty significant global black book for brands, and I can reach out to brands and put them together with rights holders. So those brands looking to get into sponsorships, wanting to get into certain markets where they may not have access to. I was very fortunate through Emirates that I had a really global network, and I still maintain that network. I really tried not to burn any bridges when I was with Emirates, and I don't recommend anyone do that at any position ever, because you never know when you have to go back to those contacts. So I'm in that position now where I'm calling on brands who may want to do some sponsorships, and they've hired me and retained me to help find rights holders, certain teams, leagues, that sort of thing, and other people who So that's from the brand point of view. From the rights holders point of view, the NBA, the NFL, the Premier League, if they're looking to break into a new market, and the Middle East is a very specific market where people, say in North America, might not understand how to work and operate over here. And it's very different than different parts of the world. And so is Asia, and so is India, and so is Australia. And, it's important to know the nuances of each of these markets. So someone like me who's very fortunate to have a global experience and a global black book would be beneficial, be useful to help rights holders and brands connect with each other, because that's what I'm doing right now. Plus putting together sports marketing strategies for these brands or for the rights holders trying to get into certain markets around.
I love that. That's fascinating when you shared about a global black book. I've never heard that term before.
Black books existed, but yeah, you understand. Global Rolodex to age ourselves, but pretty connected, pretty well connected still.
So that's helpful. So if I were the owner of a company that made golfing equipment, let's say, and I was pretty proud of the work I did, but I felt like my market share wasn't big enough, then I maybe would reach out to you directly, or maybe I'd have my marketing people reach out to you to work with you and to develop the partnerships we need to grow the brand internationally. Does that sound right?
I mean, that's part of the business. The main part is more of marketing for teams, leagues, etc. But from a retail point of view, yes, absolutely, we can put people in contact with to help them break into this market from a retail point of view as well, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Roger, you had mentioned that North America is different than the Middle East, than India, than China, et cetera. What are some of the key differentiators between the Middle East and marketing there and marketing in North America?
I think it's important to realize the cultural aspects as well. I mean, we all know where I am in the Middle East, and you all have experience out here. There's certain cultural aspects that you have to be wary of in business, and that might, that's just culture, right? In North America, they're more to the point with certain things, more abrasive perhaps. In this part of the world, we have to be direct but indirect. We have to be more respectful to our potential clients and appreciate what sort of cultural nuances there may be, and then fall in line with those nuances. And the same as in India or in Australia or in different parts of the world. For me, the most important thing is really helping people understand cultural differences, because North Americans, and I say North Americans because I'm Canadian and I can call us out, but we may think that what happens in New York or Toronto or LA or Vancouver is the same format, same process as you would do in Dubai or Mumbai, and it's not. It's different, and that goes down from making sure you have the cup of coffee or chai when they ask you for if you'd like a drink, and not to insult somebody, or making sure you cross your legs properly and not put your heels up. Little things like that are really important in business, and it's important to have someone such as me or other people in this market that can really open those doors, but open the cultural doors as well, which is important.
Look, a question's burning in my brain. BearFish.
Thank you.
BearFish.
I'm glad you asked that. So
Why? Why?
I'll tell you why. So when I was with Emirates and I wanted to leave and start my own business, I never wanted, but what I wanted to do was do this on my own and not really fall back on my Emirates connections. I really wanted to separate from Emirates and really make my mark in the world, even though my contacts were really from Emirates, but I wanted to make my mark in the business world on my own. So I didn't want to call my company Roger Duthie Sports Consultancy. I really wanted to name the business after my children, and my children's names are Oliver and Isabella. But when I was writing out names for them, Oliver and Izzy, Ollie, nothing worked. It just didn't work. The names didn't jive. And then I remembered, well, my wife, who's English, she's a lovely English woman, she's always called my children funny nicknames. And the nicknames of my children are Ollie Bear and Izzy Fish. And there's zero relevance for that. So Ollie Bear, Izzy Fish, Bear Fish is actually an homage to my children.
Well, it works.
I love it.
Cool name.
And that's behind me. You can see is really an homage to the Pacific Northwest, indigenous people. Our families in Vancouver in the Pacific Northwest. So we sort of developed the logo. If you can see it, there's a bear and there's a fish. I don't know if you can see it that well, but a bear and a salmon, and that's really sort of paying homage to the indigenous tribes in North America.
Very cool.
Very cool. We have a comment from someone, and she's actually in Ghana. Nice to have you back with us, Gaffa. Amazing. I'm getting inspired by Roger.
Lovely.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Gaffa.
Great.
So for someone who has a business in North America and they're looking to expand to the Middle East, I know this is a very general question, but what kind of budget do they have to have in mind, or they have to have available to just even get started?
Goodness, I guess it depends what we're looking for. So if you're a league or team who wants to break into the Middle East, and you want partnerships and you want to do something like the NBA recently have launched in Abu Dhabi, and Abu Dhabi is a great market, and they spent a lot of money. And I'm not sure if the figures are published, so I won't say the numbers that I hear, but there's significant amounts of money to break into this market for a league, a team, etc. For the rights, for the brands to actually pay for those rights holders. That's what I'm saying. So in order to get the NBA into Abu Dhabi, certain brands, certain government authorities paid a significant amount of money to get the NBA into Abu Dhabi. But it's worth it, in my opinion. And you look at Dubai was built on really sports platforms over the years. many, many years ago when Tiger Woods came out here and he hit balls off the Burj Al Arab, and Andre Agassi and Roger Federer played tennis on the Burj Al Arab helipad, and other people had Formula One cars out there. And so many stunts have been done in Dubai, and really because of the power of sport. And sport really reaches people, and it reaches everyone in certain industries. So the golf is reaching a certain demographic. Your tennis is reaching another demographic. Football, soccer is reaching a different demographic. NBA is reaching a different demographic. And you can do different things with these sports in order to really build the brand and build your audience through that brand. So to answer your question, it's really tough to say, Jacalyn. I can't really put a finger on the number, but I would say from a brand wanting a rights holder to come in, significant dollars. We're talking seven figures here for sure.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Yeah.
Roger, a North American company that might be thinking about breaking into the Middle East as a market probably doesn't understand the Middle East very well. I mean, you made the point that they know what they see in the news, they know what they read, but they haven't been there. They really don't understand it very well. How has the market in the Middle East, and Dubai in particular, evolved in the last 5 years? What makes it a favorable investment opportunity for let's say, an American company now?
I think it's easy. It's digital. It's all digital right now, and the Middle East is really leading the way with digital marketing. Our friends over in Saudi Arabia, with a 40 million population, there are the young. It's a young population. They are all over social media. They're one of the highest density users of social media in the world, and certainly in the Middle East. I know Asian markets are very significant in that realm as well, that business channel. So I think it's all about the digital elements and social media and those platforms where the Middle East is really savvy about, and they have been for the last 5 years for sure. And I would say more so than North Americans, honestly. That's how I feel about it. And because where we are in the Middle East, you're really central to the world. It's a wonderful place here because you take one flight and you can be anywhere in the world, really, because of Emirates. And there's so many different markets around here. It's not just the United Arab Emirates, but the entire GCC, and then you expand that out to the Middle East, and you expand that into Europe, and then you've got the subcontinent in India, and then you've got our friends in Asia and Australia. So you have to reach these potential customers and fans through social media and digital marketing. And the Middle East and the UAE is really leading the way in that.
Thank you, Roger. I'm wondering, what does an engagement with you look like? So someone reaches out to you, they want to hire you, they want to partner with you. Can you share what that process looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk, we have a chat. I try to get their objectives. For me, it's people think they can just come over here and, where there's pots of gold over here, right? And everyone thinks, okay, I'm going to come into Dubai specifically, and I'm going to make millions for my event, and I'll hire somebody like Roger. It's not always true. I mean, brands are very, very savvy here. It's not what people just see in the media that they're throwing money all over the place. It's not like that at all. When I was with Emirates, we had an accountability for every dollar we spent, and we had an ROI and a KPI and an objective for that particular sponsorship. So we had to look at a market and say, okay, why are we doing this in Australia? What's the point? Not because we want to go to the Australian Open and drink champagne and eat caviar. That's far from the truth. It's because there was a certain objective for that particular sponsorship, and we use the Australian Open to meet those objectives. And that's what I tell people. I said, all right, why do you want to be here? Why do you want to work with me? What are your brand objectives? What are your goals? Now, let's sit and talk about this. And then I'd go through a strategy with them. And then eventually, if they realize, okay, this is something I do want to do with Roger or other companies like myself, then I put together a proposal and then we talk. And I mean, for me, I'm really open and honest with people. I don't like to mess around. And I like to say, look, we're doing this together. I only get involved with companies that really want to be partners. I don't want to just be an agency or a consultant that someone's hiring me on the side and just bring me in when they need me. I don't work on an hourly basis with people. I don't like saying, okay, I'll give you 10 hours a week. I can't work like that. Through my corporate job, I work until the job gets done and gets complete. And that's how it is in the corporate world. You can't say you're on the clock and you leave at 5 o'clock and that's the way it is. You work till the job is done. And that's what I was taught by my boss and my staff. And that's what I take into my business. So I don't engage with people on an hourly rate. I don't give them days. I say, okay, here's what we're going to do, and I'll do and work with you as long as it takes to get this job done. And then we take it from there and we work out the commercial terms.
It's great. I think there's an awful lot of value in building a brand internationally. And I think a lot of people fail when they try to do it by themselves, when they try to do it alone, when they try to guess their way through it. So I think it's smart for people out there to realize an investment in a company like yours is a way to establish a beachhead overseas that might otherwise take forever and never happen if you were to do it by yourself.
You need local knowledge in every market that you go to. You can't sit in New York or Toronto or Miami and come and want to do something in Dubai and say, I'll just fly in and out. And the other thing in the Middle East, Saudi, Dubai, they want to see the people here. So if you're going to do some work with me, not me, but we're going to do some work together, you have to have a presence here. You have to be here. You have to be present. And that's the most important thing. You can't just fly in, fly out, be a cowboy and say, I'm here, and then, leave and then expect business to get done. You actually have to have a presence here, whether that's through a consultant like myself or other agencies. But it's so important to have a presence in this market in the Middle East.
That's really critical. And, you mentioned New Yorkers. New Yorkers tend to think of the rest of the world as the sixth borough.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's a blind spot that they need to overcome. There are an awful lot of people out there with that bias. They just believe the rest of the world is just like them, but it isn't. And you really need a guide when it comes time to make a move there.
I'm amazed. And look, again, I love North America. It's my home, and I love Americans and Canadians. They're wonderful people. But I still head over to the States and Canada, and I'm amazed how the lack of knowledge from a business point of view and a knowledge in general of the Middle East. We see what we see, negative stuff in the media. That's the minuscule version of what happens in the Middle East. It's a wonderful, thriving, beautiful environment over here. And I just wish more North Americans would come over here and visit and understand what this culture is all about. We're going through Ramadan right now, and it's a wonderful holy month, and it's a peaceful, tranquil time of the year. But it's a beautiful, serene time of the year, yet business still gets done. And I really want my North American friends and people I know in the States would just recognize that there's more to what you see in the media, and come visit the UAE and you experience it for yourself.
That's very important.
Thank you, Roger. You actually answered the question I was going to ask about having a presence over there. So one of the things I'm wondering about in terms of culture, at least here in the States, and I could be talking specifically about myself, there's a lot of mentality about working 7 days a week, holidays, burning the candle at both ends, checking your phone in the middle of the night. So I give away all my secrets. But what's it like there in terms of the culture in the Middle East? Do people take a certain amount of time away from the business, or are they involved in the business 24/7?
So in all honesty, before COVID, people did that. It was 24/7. And I think after COVID, the government realized that COVID brought a lot of people together, brought families together, brought business together, working from home, brought families closer. And I think people realized during COVID, there's more important things in life than your work, right? And work's important, but it's your family and those around you and your loved ones that you need to spend more time with. And the government is, again, it's a wonderful, wonderful government here, because they truly care about the citizens and residents of the UAE. And they're talking about going to 4-day weeks, and they give more holidays now than ever before, and allowing people to work from home, and being more concerned about maternity leave and paternity leave and all these wonderful initiatives. And the government really is concerned about mental health and welfare of their citizens and residents. So they are coming up with initiatives now to really focus on that, and not really have such a bound to your BlackBerry as it used to be, or bound to your smartphone 24/7. So the answer to your question is, the government and organizations now over here are concerned more about the welfare, mental health, and state of the residents. So it's not always 24/7 work. Easy said than done, because we're all addicted to our smartphones and that, and even my family always says you're always on your phone, and I'm trying to have lunches now and dinners. Okay, no phones. I go out with my friends and I say, okay, guys, we're talking together. No phones. Let's put the phones down. We're here together in front of each other. I think as a culture, as a global culture, we need to do that more. You need to be out with your friends. Put your phones away, because let's be honest, we didn't do this 15 years ago when we were having lunch or dinner with our buddies, and life still happened, right? So I try to do that one. I try to do that with my buddies and my family. You know, I'm not always great at it, but I try.
Good.
I'm aware.
Good. I have another question. I know we only have, I guess we're coming down. Well, we have a few minutes left. And in those last few minutes, what about BearFish Sports Apparel? We haven't talked about the clothes yet.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad you asked about that. I was worried we can get a chance to talk about that. So very quickly, just during COVID, I've always wanted to start an apparel brand. I like fashion. I like golf fashion. I'm a big golfer, big outdoors, sports person. I try to take care of myself and be active. And all my career at Emirates, traveling around the world and playing golf, I would always buy a cap, a golf cap. And at the end of wherever I was, I'd put the golf cap in the golf bag or my suitcase, and then I'd come home and it would be crumpled and ruined and destroyed, and I'd be gutted because I just spent $40 or whatever, and then this hat that I just bought just was ruined. I thought there's got to be a better way, and then I also felt there wasn't a good hat out there that would really protect my head, keep me cool and comfortable, yet was stylish and fashionable and all these things. So I thought, I'm going to make one. I'm going to create my perfect hat. So during COVID, it took me 3 years now, and finally launched our cap apparel. So I've started with what I call them outdoor sport and lifestyle caps, because I've created a line of caps that are great for the hot weather, but they're good for golf, tennis, pickle, paddle, athletics, fashion, lifestyle. It's this complete business streams, 10 different business streams for my caps. And then I created a little individual cap case. It's one cap fits in your cap case to protect your cap while you're traveling. So you can now buy your cap at the pro shop in Sydney and then fly back to New York or Dubai, put it inside of your golf bag or clip it into your side of your golf bag or your sports bag, and the cap will be protected. I've got a bunch of funky different colors because my golf sucks. So I like to look fun on the golf course and have a good time and laugh at myself. So I've got bright pinks and oranges and yellows, kind of like the old Miami Vice colors, and bring back South Beach Miami of the 80s, I say. So I created these fun, vibrant colors, and we launched in November of this year at the DP World Championship in Dubai. And then I was at the Orlando Golf Show in January and launched in America. We're in 2 malls in Dubai, and we're online as well. So I'm offering and these are very high-end caps. It took me, as I said, 3 years and 42 different vendors, different styles, different techniques, different texture with the fabrics to get the perfect fabrics. Now I think I've created the perfect outdoor sports apparel lifestyle fashion hat, which can be purchased online. And for the month of April, I'm delivering anywhere in the world for free, which we're about to announce probably tomorrow through our PR agency in New York.
Great. I can recommend a terrific sports marketing firm that you can call to help you grow that brand.
How do people purchase?
Right now, as I said, we're in 2 malls and then online at my website. It's www.bearfishsportsmarketing.com and then /apparel. So on my website, there's an apparel section that people can go into, and actually pressing the button probably tomorrow to go live on the e-commerce. So we're just tidying that up right now. But for the month of April, to celebrate the first major of the month, first major of the year, the Masters, which is probably the greatest event in the history of events, in my opinion. To celebrate that, I'm launching a free global delivery anywhere. So that will be probably up and operational by tomorrow.
That's great.
Yeah, congratulations. That's very exciting.
Definitely.
And phase 2, sorry if I may, phase 2 with the hats, I'm launching next year a tie-in made golf belts as well that will match the hats. And then phase 3 would be outdoor apparel, sports, hoodies, and play dry t-shirts and golf shirts. And then that's it. We're just going kind of lean on the apparel side of things, but creating high-end, high premium quality products that will last and be colorful and great to wear.
And it makes you feel good too when you're wearing color. I'm always in black. I say to myself, I need to have some bright colors to lighten things up.
Why not? Why not? Right? Gotta have fun.
No.
Absolutely. Al, go ahead.
Well, I that means that you had to go through a transition, Roger. You needed to go from a service provider to a product manufacturer.
Yes.
That's an awful lot of people out there don't know how to do that. Maybe you can explain how you did it.
I hired somebody who knows how to do it.
That was smart.
Would you like to elaborate?
during COVID, I tried to learn a lot of it. Like, I'm a marketing person, right? I'm not a retail person. I knew what I want. I had a vision for apparel. The reality is I made what I made for myself. I really thought I could do better than what's out there. I'm not competing against the big brands. I can't. I'm a boutique Dubai brand, designed in Dubai, made out here. And I created the BearFish apparel brand for myself. And then I like the caps. I like the colors. I've got the cases that are great. And then, I thought, I'm going to make this for myself. And then I'm going to launch them at the DP World Championship. And if no one likes them, that's okay. That means I have 5,000 hats for myself for the next 10 years. Luckily, people like them. They were okay with the price point in this part of the world. And then we launched in the States in January. And again, people liked them and they thought they were really good and different. No one has seen sort of the quality, the material, the travel case that it comes with. Even though there are cases out there, mine's really small and compact. And then the colors. I mean, most large companies now are sticking with the whites, blues, and grays or browns or whatever. But we kind of went, as I said, South Beach, Miami, 1985, Miami Vices, a bit of pinks and blues. You can see my logo is mint blue. So I like that bright color, and that's kind of what we're hoping will be a differentiator. That and the cap carry case.
Very cool. And my other question too is there are an awful lot of people that golf in the United States. What's it like to golf in Dubai?
Golfing's crazy in Dubai. It's great. Golf courses are fantastic, world-class golf courses, incredible golf courses. I love golfing out here. It's packed. It's so busy out here. But you've got 15 world-class golf courses out here, and they're just so busy. So, the answer to your question is fantastic. I mean, Tiger Woods, 2000 when he first came out here. Fred Couples in 1986 was really the first who led the foray into international players playing in this part of the world. And then that just opened the doors to a lot more international players coming over. And then with the Dubai Desert Classic was on the European tour. Eventually the goal was to get someone like Tiger, and he came over here, and Ernie Els. Tiger Woods won it 3 times. Ernie Els has won it 3 times. So you've got some pretty big names, pretty big players over here playing in the Dubai Desert Classic, and now the DP World Championship, the culmination of the DP World Tour. So golf is fantastic. It's thriving, and it's very, very busy and great. And the weather's fantastic right now for it.
Good.
It sounds like there are a lot of reasons to go there, to live there, to open a business there, get a presence there.
I'm not leaving Dubai. I mean, I have a house here. My family's born and raised here. The education is great. The healthcare system's wonderful. Streets are wonderful. It's really, in my view, it's one of the greatest places in the world to live. I can't leave this place. I still get to watch all my North American sports. I love my North American NFL, NBA, and I can watch all that, no problem. Lifestyle out here is just, it's amazing. It's really, really amazing place. It's a fascinating place to live and work.
And a huge business opportunity for people out there watching and listening who think that they might want to grow their brand into a market that they probably don't understand but should get to know, and that's where you come in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can help them on the business side of things and the cultural side as well. But from a business point of view, we can open the doors together and grow businesses.
It's great, Roger.
Roger, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today, and I'm certainly putting it on my list that I want to get over there to Dubai as soon as possible.
Great interview.
So, really good interview. We've been sharing your contact information, but for people who are unable to read it or they can't see the banner, can you please share with our audience who would you like to reach out and how can they contact you?
People can reach me directly with my email at Roger, ROGER, Duthie, DUTHIE, at BearFish Sports Marketing, one word. That's BearFishSportsMarketing.com. And that's brands, teams, league, anyone wanting to do business over here from a sports marketing or retail point of view. I'm always looking for people who have interesting ideas for apparel, anyone in the fashion world, because my brand is moving into the fashion lifestyle world. Anyone really who's looking to do some great business and have some fun while you're at it, right? We're always talking about having fun, and my slogan is "Be brave," and that's on the side of my caps as well, because I think you need to be brave in life. And Al, sounds like you're a golfer, but my father used to say, if you're thinking about going 4-2, don't think, be brave, because one day the choice won't be yours. In other words, whatever age or ability, you won't be able to be brave. Do it, be brave, and live life to the fullest while you can. And that's the philosophy I take in life and with my business.
That's great business advice. And one last question, really quick, Roger. English is not a barrier, right?
English is
The fact
not
that you only speak English is not a barrier. You don't need to be multilingual to call you.
English is the language of business. Yes, English is
work. That's
Yeah.
important. So there's no reason not to call you.
There's none whatsoever.
Every reason to call.
Absolutely. Good. Good.
Thank you again, Roger. And we'd love to have you back on any of our other shows. We have 30 shows a week that we broadcast, and anything we can do to support your work, we're happy to do it.
Great.
That's great. I really appreciate this opportunity. It was a pleasure speaking to both of you.
Thank you.
You too. Take good care. Bye for now.
Guys, take care.
Bye. That was a great interview. I really learned a lot about an area that I needed to know more.
It's we all have misconceptions. Sometimes we turn those into limiting beliefs, and that keeps us where we are and prevents us from moving out of where we are. And I think once again, the Business Talk Show has given people an opportunity to see a world outside that they don't understand and can get to know better, and maybe go there and enjoy themselves and make some money. How is that a bad plan?
It's all good, Al. Well, thank you again for being here, for your time. I'm going to spotlight you. And if you can share with our audience who you would like to contact and how they can reach you.
Sure. We're, a favorite of ours these days is executive leadership teams, because an awful lot of what we're doing now is answering the question, are all the people on my executive leadership team, it could be 5 people or 3 people, it could be 20 people, are all the people on my team really singing from the same sheet of music? Are they really all connected to each other? Do they really all understand each other? We have a scientific way of determining that. We have an actionable way of getting everybody to work together to overcome any barriers that might exist between them. And we convert all that energy in a half day to a list of commitments that people make to become better contributors to the mission of their team. And building that inventory is the most exciting part of what we do, and everybody gets on board with it and everybody loves it. And that's ProFit for Teams. And I can be reached at 212-480-3730, or you can email me at al@pro-fit4 teams.com. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you, Al CINI. I appreciate it. And thank you to each and every one of you out there watching or listening. Our next show is coming up. It's Talking Heads with our expert, Caroline Heward, the Harley Street stress expert.
He's the best. He's the best. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye.
Doc.
Bye.